Hello, welcome back to another session by Digital Titans, where we would be talking about something called as Visual Website Optimizer. The This tool falls under something called as A/B testing, and there's nothing very fancy about A/B testing. All that it means is you would be testing two variations, A and B. It could be two variations of your website. It could be two variations of your ad text. It could be two variations of certain images on your website or web page. It could be anything. Now, VWO is one of the most reliable platforms, which also comes with additional heat maps privilege if you really want to use it. And it really enhances the game of trying out new things when it comes to your running your ads or running different versions of your website. Not so long ago, this tool VWO was a free tool. Eventually, it gained so much of momentum that they introduced the premium versions of it. Now, if you just quickly go through the pricing section of the website, you would see what are the different plans that they have. Now, it just doesn't stop there, and it helps you enhance your A/B testing game so much. Now, A/B testing gained a lot of momentum in the recent past. Now, it could be talking about trying out two different variations of an email subject, trying out two different variations of an email body. It could be trying out different landing pages for your ads when you run them on Google or Facebook or a lot of things, right? Now, since we're already here, we need to understand that A/B testing comes with a 30-day free trial. Now, anybody who wants to use this free trial can simply avail this free trial by clicking on the free trial option, either from here or from here. Now, in this tutorial, we would be talking about VWO nevertheless. We would also be talking about, I would also be sharing you a few sections from the website of VWO where we would be talking about how this can be used to try and test different variations of landing page while you're running your Google ads. So let's get started with a free trial. So you just need to click on the free trial. Now remember, when you're trying the free trial, you would definitely have to give them the work email. And if you try and give them a Gmail ID, it wouldn't accept. So let me just see if it takes my right now valid password. They need 8 or more characters. Then uppercase is done. Then a number. Okay, all right. So they just need uppercase. Now let me give my phone number. Now you just put in these details. Let's say I would like to go ahead with this. Now create a free trial account. Now if you observe, they ask you to enter only a work email ID and it doesn't accept your Gmail IDs. So that's one of the things that I mentioned before. So you just need your official email ID. And let's go ahead with these details. Let's just create a free account. Now in the process, you would, if you pay close attention to what you see on the left hand side, which is here. Now it just says all right. So if you check these options, it says you can track your goals and funnels. You can analyze your heat maps, visitor recordings. Now, visitor recordings is a very, very, very interesting concept where you would be able to actually see a recording of users' visit onto your website. You would be able to see where he clicked, how did his mouse move, what is his pattern, what the behaviors of people or users on your website are, and a lot of things like that. Now, you can have certain observations or hypotheses and then finally get to test them. Now you can also have a target that you can set. Let's say you're looking at a 20% conversion on your landing page. Now then the VWO will suggest you what the optimum testing period should be. So let's get started. Now they have sent an email to my official email ID. So let me quickly go there and verify the email ID. Now I will log into my account. The email account, I would have received an email from VWO. I just need to verify the email ID and the credentials that I have given. All right, so I see the email and I just need this email, please click on the link and continue to sign in. So let me click on this. It will prompt me to sign in at this point in time, so I am just going to give my username and password that I've chosen, and I will sign in. All right. Now, I have already tried using this earlier and the free trial has expired, but we will still continue to see what I can do, and I should still be able to show you what the options are because I've already used up this trial. Now, if you observe on the left hand side, you have a lot of options that you can execute with VWO, and since we're talking about A/B testing, so let me click on A/B testing. Now, there are certain stages that you can, series of steps that you would have to follow when you try A/B testing with VWO. Now, let's create an A/B testing campaign. So when you just say create, okay. Now, I am going with the hypothesis that I would want to make the checkout process short. So click on that. Now, this is the URL. Now let's say this is my URL. Now you have two sections, which is simple and advanced. If you just go ahead with advanced, you can do a lot of things. Now let me get rid of this first. Okay. Now if you look at the options that you have, you either use the URL matches, and in cases where you would want to test out a lot of pages on a particular website, let's say if you're talking about Amazon follows a structure called amazon.com/shoes/ let's say the shoes start with casual, which is CA. So you can actually give them a pattern which says your domain, and you can just say shoes, and if all the shoes start with the category or the word SHOE, so I'll just say this, and I say whatever happens after that can be indicated with a star. So if I do that, now whatever matches with this pattern, so which means that after this, now it will start testing my pages, all the web pages on the website which follow this path, which is https://hipshoppers.com/shoes, and whatever happens after that, all the URLs will be included in the A/B test. Now, since we're talking about a small one, now let's say hipshoppers.com is the URL that I'm going to talk about, and next. So that's my website. It actually populates my website. And if you look at what else do you want, now there are two things that you always have to remember. There are two variations, which is called as a control variation and the actual variation. Now, control is your original website, and variation is the one that you would want to experiment with. So let's say edit. Now this gives me the functionality to edit any sections on my website, or I just need to identify what changes do I want to test against my control group, which is the original option, right? So just click on this. So let me close this. All right. Now, in the process, VWO fetches my actual page. This is called as a visual editor, where I would be able to actually edit my website, though I don't have any design skills. Now, let's say I really don't want, let's say, what do I say? Now, let's say I don't want this tab here. Now, I would want to rearrange them. And let's say I just want to rearrange this at the top. Right now, instead of having a horizontal menu, I just want to, or let's discard this. Now, if I want to resize the menu, that seems like a viable option. So let me resize the menu and see if resizing can actually make a difference to my conversions. Now, if I want to change the text and say, instead of home, if I want to say about or about us, right? And since there's already an about, so I just want to remove this or hide this. Move. So I just move it here. All right. Now I just want to get rid of these things. Now you'll see an option to hide these things. So let me hide this, and deals is something that I would want to keep with me. So I'll just move it here and say done. Now this is exactly what I want to try. Now I want to try, let me put this properly. Alright, so this is the new menu that I want to try against the one I had before, where it had about 5 or 6 tabs that you could click upon. Now this is the new variation that I would want to try. And if you, in case you want to change anything here, or if you want to change anything here, or maybe I just want to rearrange or remove these things, I want to change the style of these things. Now I want to change the font, I want to change the size. Now instead of 11, let me say that I'm going to look at a 9 here. So they become a little smaller, right? Now you could make any variations of your website. Now if you really want to, let's say, that you want to rearrange them and you just move around things. Now if you observe, though you don't have the design functionality, or if you're not a qualified web developer, you could still make changes to your site. Now in this case, if I really want to resize this and make it a little bigger than what you see here, because this, I think this makes more sense to me, because this has got a call to action. So I just want to resize this. Now I am trying to test my original variation, which is this. Let me open that up. Now this is my original variation of the website, and I'm trying to compare this with the new variation that I am trying to experiment with, which is this, with a larger header, larger notification bar, with a reduced tabs on my main menu. And maybe I just want to get rid of my search box. I just don't want it to be here. Instead, I just want to put it on the top corner. Say done. Right? So now I'm trying this page against this page and see what happens when people actually see this variation. Now this is the goal that I have. I mean, I just want to understand this. And since you're done with the designing aspect, now you need to tell the system, or tell the tool, which is VWO, about what's your goal. What is that you're looking at? Now this is the goal. Now what do you want to do? Do you want to track page visits on this page, or do you want to track a particular revenue? I just want to track page visits on this page, which is hip shoppers. And please understand that these do not make any changes to your actual website. This is just a created or a duplicate version of your web page, where you can try a lot of variations that you always wanted to. And if you want to measure another goal, let's say I just want to track engagement, which means that it is going to track everything or every kind of activity on the home page or the page that I mentioned. Now this is the time limit which is suggested. That is suggested because I have mentioned a conversion rate of 5%. Now I have told the system that I am looking at, or I'm expecting, a conversion rate of 5%, which means 5% of all the traffic that comes to this website has to convert for me. Now that's my goal. Now based upon that, it has identified this. But if you don't want that, if you just want a 1% conversion, edit parameters, now it's going to change the whole thing. Now with 1% conversion, it's going to take 15 weeks approximately. Now based upon my goal, the whole thing changes, right? Now if you look at the steps that we have, we just signed up for VWO, we just created a campaign, we just told the system that I want to try 2 different variations. Then it took me to a stage where I could edit whatever I was able to edit on the website, which is my variation of the website. That would be compared against the control, which is the original website. And what else? Then I've identified a goal about what I want to measure. I want to measure track visits on this page, plus I want to look at whatever happens on the entire page. I just want to measure all the activity on that. Now let's say next. I can name this, let's say, hip shoppers A/B testing, maybe. Right now, this test will be applicable to the 100% of traffic that I get onto my website. And if you want to enable heat maps, you can automatically do it, which means it will automatically generate a heat map for your traffic. Now you can also integrate it with third-party platforms like Google Analytics. And that's it. Now you just say finish. It gives you a code which needs to go onto your website. Now once you have the this is the code which goes onto your website. You just paste it on your website and you're good to go. This is exactly how you would run an A/B testing for your website using a tool which is called as VWO. Now, since this is going to be the first session, I've just shown you how to create a basic test, A/B test using VWO. Now, in the next session that we will be talking about things like what is a multivariate testing and what's a split URL testing and a mobile app A/B testing using VWO. Until then, stay healthy, stay good, stay safe, and I appreciate you subscribing to my content. And if you really like this content, please do not hesitate to share it with your friends and fellow digital marketers. I'm always there to bring you the coolest of the content from the digital marketing sphere. Thank you so much, and please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already done that. Cheers, this is Casey signing off from Digital Titans. Ciao.